Welcome to ProVenue and your new hospitality learning experience. ProVenue is a training management tool that has been developed for use in hotels, wedding and event venues, pubs and restaurants. And one of the big benefits of ProVenue are the tools within the system, and one of those is our Performance Manager. The Performance Manager tool allows managers to conduct appraisals, performance reviews, and create learning pathways to plan training to occur over a scheduled period of time. Identify the talent in your venue and ensure they receive the training they need to help them with their career success. Now, to have access to the Performance Manager, which if you click on here, this will take you to the Performance Manager, you need to be allocated with a manager role within ProVenue, with a team of learners allocated to you. And depending on the access you have to ProVenue, you will either use pre-developed appraisal templates or you will have the ability to create your own. If you're creating your own, you will need to have access to the content admin role, which is here, and go to the templates area. Now, the template tool is probably one of the most versatile tools that we have within the ProVenue system because it can be used in a number of different ways due to its flexibility and just its nature. And in this instance, we're going to be using it to create an appraisal template, but it's also used to create surveys, audits and inspections. So to create an appraisal template, all you need to do is click this button here, add new template. But I'm not going to add a new template. We're going to have a look at an existing one by clicking on this one here, the PDR appraisal for employees. So let's go in and have a look at this one here. So you give your appraisal a name. You decide if you want that name shown on the survey, what color you want the header to be. If you want an image to appear as a header, if you want the logo shown on your survey, and the most important thing here is this tick box. This is the tick box says used for appraisals, and it's something that must be ticked as it ensures that the template becomes available when you're creating a new appraisal. So each appraisal is required to have a front page and a conclusion page. And you don't need to put lots of information in here other than maybe a short description of what the appraisal entails for the front page and a short thank you sentence for the conclusion page. And once you have entered all the information and decided whether or not you want an email sent on conclusion and what names you want the buttons to have, you can go forward and click Create Survey Questions. And this, oops, I don't think I clicked it properly. This is where the fun really does begin. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, there's quite a few on here, but every appraisal must have at least one page. So you do need to enter some brief information for the first page of the survey. And once you've done that, you then get to this point where you can add questions. So as you can see, you can add a page or you can add a question. And the brilliant thing with adding a page is it allows you to break your appraisal down into sections, which is what we have done here. And as you can see, we've got background information, we've got goals, we've got risks and expectations, we've got work environment and support, an area for employee review, which is for the manager to complete only, performance areas summary, and the employees summary comments as well. So what I did want to do was just have a little look at the different question types. As you can see here, there are actually 10 different question types, and you can choose from single text box, essay text, text box list, text box table. You can choose multiple choice or multiple answer. You can give it a rating scale. You can do a star rating, a matrix, and you have the option to upload a block of text and an image or even a document to go along with it. You can decide whether or not you want a question to be mandatory, and if that question is actually dependent upon the response from a previous question, which does make it very flexible and in-depth. There's no limit as to how many questions you can create, and if it's going to be a fairly comprehensive appraisal, as I said, you are best breaking it up into sections like we've done with our appraisal here, and you do that by simply adding a page. But by sectioning it this way, it really does help to keep it much more user-friendly and easier to manage and report on as well. So once you've added all your pages and questions, you can simply press finish and the appraisal will be available for you to use. Once you've completed your appraisal template, you can then start the task of actually creating an appraisal, which is a very simple process. All you need to do is go to your Learner tab, which is here, click on the Appraisals area, and that will actually bring you up your appraisal dashboard. And this will list all the appraisals that you've created, both finished and open appraisals. And it just gives you a good overview of what's going on. Once an appraisal has been completed by the appraisee, you'll see the green launch button here that allows you to view the completed appraisal. The idea with this tool, though, is to send the appraisal in advance of the physical performance review, so that the member of staff or appraisee fills this in before the date of the review, so it does form then a discussion point at the review itself. To create an appraisal, you simply click on the blue star icon. It is a very simple process from here because the system will automatically assign the appraisal on your behalf once you've chosen the team member that you're appraising. So you can choose which member of your team you want to appraise. You choose the appropriate person. You can choose which template. Now here we've currently only got one template, but it might be that you've got different appraisal templates for different members of staff who are in different divisions. As I say, in this case, we've only got one to choose. Once you're satisfied with your choices, you simply press the Assign button, and this will automatically assign the appraisal to the team member you've selected. Now it will also send them an email to the email address used in the ProVenue system to alert them to the fact that there is an appraisal assigned to them for them to complete. To access your appraisal, so if you were being the person who was being appraised, you simply go to your Learner tab, you hit Profile, and at the top of your page you can see the My Appraisals button. And you can see all of the appraisals you've been assigned and completed, which will be there for you to see and complete at any time. Now, as you can see, Ross has an appraisal waiting to be completed that has been assigned to him by his manager, Kylie. So let's go through the process so you can see how easy it is to complete the appraisal. So once each section is completed, it's a fairly simple process, but as you can see, we now have the pop-up window here and we can press begin. And all you have to do here is enter your actual information. So I'm going to have to enter some information, let's say these, because it won't let me move forward if I don't enter this information. So as you can see, I've got this all pretty much in there, but you can always do start the appraisal and save it for later. So a bit like some of these online applications that you do, if you haven't got time to do it straight away, you can save it for later. So we press next, and now we're actually into the main part of the appraisal, and here I can enter my goals, etc., and just press next, and I will keep going through all of the different areas. So it really is a very simple process. And as I say, once each section has been completed, there is an area left for you to add comments, which shouldn't be completed until the manager or your manager has acknowledged receipt of the appraisal and put in his or her comments. Once you've completed your appraisal, you'll receive an email acknowledging your completed appraisal. In the meantime, as a manager, you will also receive an email once a team member has completed their appraisal. So at all times, there is email communication between both parties to ensure that nothing is missed. Now, another great feature of ProVenue's Performance Manager is the ability to have a conversation about the appraisal between the manager and the appraisee by using this green arrow here. And all the messages basically between the two are recorded in the system, so it allows both parties to discuss points about the appraisal if they feel things aren't quite right. So it's a truly transparent system that allows for everything to be managed and recorded the whole way through the appraisal process. And once the manager has the completed appraisal back, it's time to launch the appraisal and read the submission. So if we go back to this area here, these are all of the appraisals that Ross has actually created. As you can see, this one's all been done and dusted and completed by Jason Blackman. So the status has changed to acknowledged. These have been assigned but not completed yet. Michelle has actually submitted her part of the appraisal, so it's waiting for review. So you can actually launch it here, and you can launch the appraisal. You can begin, and you can see that Michelle has filled this all in. Now, because this is a test one, there won't be anything much in here, but it allows us to sort of flick through this. And you can see all the different questions that have been added in. We've only used one question type here for this particular one, but as you know, you can use quite a lot of different question types. Now, this bit is the bit that has to be completed by the manager. So you fill in the employee's name and the position, your name, the period for the review, the date of the review, and the review due date. And once you've done all that, and you've added in your part, you can actually set it to complete. So once you set the appraisal to complete, it will then generate an email that will be sent to Michelle to let her know it's been done. And this one, as you can see, has now been completed. So it has changed. And you can launch, and you can write comments, and you can delete where appropriate. So it really is a very easy system to work your way around. And once the appraisal has been set to complete, as I say, another email will be sent to the appraisee to let them know the manager has completed their portion, and it will then be down to them to acknowledge this. And once that's done, the appraisal status does turn to complete, and there's a complete record held in the system for future reference. So obviously, as you go through this, this will build and become bigger and bigger and bigger, dependent upon the size of your team. But the idea, as I say, of the Performance Manager is for you to create an appraisal system that is issued in advance of the physical review of the employee, so that everything is recorded in the system. No matter how small or how large, everything is accounted for. Every piece of correspondence that goes back and forth between the manager and the employee is all recorded within the system, so that at any time we can go back, have a look in the system, see what was said, see what was reviewed. And of course, when you do the next review on that employee, you have everything there to look back at. You know what goals were being assigned to them. You know what they wanted to have done in between the time of their last review and this review now. So again, a very transparent system there for you to really use in any way you see fit.